This is day 500, 500 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Today's Arukh HaShulchan Yomi is being sponsored by my friend and in this venture, my shutaf, who came up with the idea of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi and brought it to fruition, Rebkah, as a schus for the refuah shlema of Ya'kov, David, Daniel ben Sarah, Rivka, and his kidney donor, Arya, Moshe ben Shira, ריבה. They should have refuah shlema b'mheira, and Rebkah and I should be zoiched to see the machzor come to its completion, and halavai hala. If you would like to sponsor upcoming shir or more of the Shulchan Yomi, please contact me directly. It would be very greatly appreciated. Today we're doing Sim Shin Yud Daled, Seif Daled to Shin Yud Daled, Seif Yud Beis. So, Daled. Of course, Kalim would be in Sefer Kalim. Da, Sheyesh Bin Bin became Stir Rambam. In terms of construction by vessels, a tradition in Rambam. The Perik Yud Din Yudakas of Osanek of Kol Shul, Bilushul, Tiny Goylem, Deshin Kosbarim, Ha'ora, Chai Mushim Brenner. In the 10th parak, the Halacha Dali wrote that somebody who makes a hole, no matter how small, in a chicken coop, in order that the light should come in, is chai because of bona kind of shono. Preish parak Kol Gimel Kasa Osa Nekel Shu Osi Lachnisu Otzi. Somebody makes a hole which is made to bring in and take out, such as this hole in the chicken coop, which is made to bring the light and take out the bad air. Is like because of makabapatish, not boinem, makabapatish. Whenever they made the gazelle on any hole. There are those who say that the obligation goes up both. Well, fees, that's a lechem mishnah evidently. Fees have a lichtov shneim makom, but then should in both in one place. Those who say the perach of gimel myra b'tulu she'en muchaber l'karka, where he says it's makapatish, it's because the chicken coop which is not connected to the ground. She'en b'mishum binyan, and therefore there is no binyan, only makapatish. That's the one that have wrong. I'm saying no. Arukh HaShulchan rejects this as well. The meal kapanim ber perkul lamen echai mishum makapatish. But saying which the mechubel karka should have both baina makab patish. So why there in Perak Yud does he limit it to baina? But all kinds by the binyan the rice and chilu ben binyan chilu keli. Now, furthermore, we've explained that in binyan the rice, binyan and saying which is the rice, there's not necessarily any distinction between structure, something which is connect ground, so should not connect ground. Depends whether you're tokea or not tokea. But I don't know what the problem is. The Rambam will explain very, very clearly. The parak, he actually spoke about this several simonim ago, and we remarked there that Ora seems to be strange, and it seems that he says one place it's the bad air, the other place it doesn't mention the bad air. So it says Arukh HaShulchan. Because the kol neck of kol shum mishum the hula have a hula oira. That is whole is specifically for light. Hula die b'chol shafilu adam. And for light, it's enough even for a small hole, even for a person. Kavur ba'basra and sham. A pinpoint hole can bring in a significant amount of light. So plukta the Rav Shul reish perkabaya upasa karav that you're liable. Perkabel ma'ay b'nekev gadol. And perkabel is about large hole. Kim chugam lo tzia hevel. Since it's also in order to remove the bad air, it's not enough that it be a pinpoint hole. This is the last malacha in fashioning a coop. The aim is not making a structure that being creating mark. You already have a whole chicken coop. Definitely it's only makabapatish. And that's sourced elsewhere. Now, the rice or any opening which is not made to go in and out is not considered to be a Pesach. Rabbanan decreed even psachim which are made for one-way traffic, so to speak, are so because of which goes both ways. Davi ule avira which can bring air in or bring air or in or bring air or light in. Fuki Havla to remove the bad odor from inside or the bad fumes. Zayso Kober Kakim, which is basically all the 23rd parak. Ayin Sham. Is the brackets here? V'Risi Shikam Chai Adam. I don't know that I ever saw called the Chai Adam before, but he probably did. Just didn't notice. Klam Memav Nishlam Os Aleph Kos Kain Zeh Ayin Sham. Chai Adam says a similar answer. Hey, Shal Chacham in Mishnah. Chacham taught a Shovra Damasach Chabis Lechom Mimena Goychos. Person can break open the barrel to even omit the dates. But I'm Perkov Gimel Dain Beis Kosab Koloshna Mishnah. Rambam writes that this Mishnah in its verbatim. Before that, I feel B'chavish Shlem Echolasos Kain. Even if it's a barrel which is whole, intact, you can do this. Mitan Kosti or Sheinem Nasim knows, because any destruction which is not in order to reconstruct, like you saw the rice and no the rice. So Makakal is ruining. But you saw Rabban, it's Rabban Lochein Lo Gozel became Shwitz Lechom Eperos. And they didn't make such a decree when they come to eat from the fruit. And there is no problem with deconstructing the kalim. However, we just said there, you can't have a mind to make a keli. Mind to make a nice hole. You can have a because then you're like, deconstruct in order to construct also kalim, which is also in vessels. Of course, this leads into the major modern question of disposable cans and such like. So a disposable can, if one were in fact intending to make a keli out of it, then it would be sosav livnos, and that would lead to all sorts of problems. It's just all by all the tearing on cans and such like. Not like but all those material are based on the assumption that you're not making keli. You actually ruin the keli before you make it, like those who put a hole in the metal tops of tops of bottles and cans that they're opening on Shabbos, or they by immediately discarding it, like people do with soda cans after they pour out or finish drinking the liquid. Because if you leave it a keli, it's problematic. Vav Yesh is a shayla. They came to Mishnah Be'erbin. As a question, which will rise in Mishnah Be'erbin? Nasan Ereb Migdal. If you put the Ereb into a large wooden box, the Sagam Maftech, you close it with a key. The Never Maftech, the lock was lost. The key was lost. I raised the Ereb was valid. The Torah Chashasim so Tommy Malzeh. The Gemara has difficulty finding why it should be an Ereb. V'ayne Yochel like Yel Ereb. You can't reach the Ereb by Sham. It's difficult. Break the box and take out the air from inside it. Once you like you break down the jug in order to get the dates. And Yerushalmi Taka says that in this Mishnah, the Mishnah Meir ben Migdal Shel Avanim, which is talking about a container made out of stone. Shiv Shabashvir, you can't break it. It's unbreakable. But if it's a wooden box, break it and take the air. Like the person who breaks open the barrel or the jar to take the dates. So therefore the Yerushalmi has to find another heter if it's made out of stone. Why it's considered to be about heter erev. Wooden keli doesn't have a problem, but by stone keli, why should it be mutzah if you can't break it down? So the Gemara comes out that it's talking about a container made out of bricks. It too tries to come up with another reason. And that which it says here a container made of bricks. It's not because it initially didn't think it was made out of bricks. But rather we're talking about one made of bricks where there's no cement, so the bricks are easily removable. Of course, like it says there. So there's those who say the rag b'chabish ain't kamusa rav mutar. They ain't stira b'kalim. An interesting answer from the Ran, that if you have, if it's only a small container, then it's not considered to be steer b'kelim. Avamida should go to become a zambia, but a large container which is similar to a building. Lo itil l'shover, they didn't allow you to break it. Which we, it's an interesting idea. Zayin, I'm saying about it. This is diktagu mitoku shezud the migdal, the lo ma'ir b'chavish shlema. So on the other hand, Taisus learned from this difficulty with the migdal that when it says it's permissible to break a container to get to the contents, it's not talking about a whole jug. To be shlema v'adei osashov. If it's whole, you're definitely not allowed to break it. Come over migdal, like a migdal which is made out of wood, or according to Ushami, out of stone. V'chamar b'mustiki. You're saying about a mustiki klomer chavish shvura u'debaka b'zefes. It's already been broken and then re-glued together with pitch. The Chaim Mukila Shas of Beitza, which is what the Gemara says in Beitza. Abelezer Pogsham and Abelezer argues by Migdal. He's Matre Mustaki. And Shav, and Nema the Gam the Rabbanon, Circula, Noma the Gam Rabbanon, Circula Hakokip. And he comes out, Rabbanon, we need to say something like a Mustaki in order to permit it. Because a Rosh and Pastor should receive Aleph. But if you take Acheres to the cloud, he didn't bring any other opinion. He came to the Milsa the Rabbanon. Since it's a Rabbanon here because it's Sota Shalom not sleep knows. Lam Levi Dasa Ram Law Kelly, even it's not a Mustaki, it's okay. Fachkam Yushami Kenu, Yushami certainly holds by he doesn't have to be a Mustaki. Kenu Das Rashi, Varab, because it's Shabbat Them as a Chavis. Because some person can break the barrel, because in this ruination there is no prohibition on Kalashana. That's why allow you to break this barrel in order to eat. Since all these poskim are made, Rishonim and Achronim, Rav, assuming he's an Achron for this purpose, are matir lama lo if you daitem klau. Why didn't they bring their opinion in at all? Tzarchim. I'm not sure the Rav is considered Achron. He could be considered late Rishon. Ches, this is what the two and Shulchan Aruch say. Ain't been a mistira. There is no construction and deconstruction by Kalim. It's only if it's not a true construction. Such as if you have a vessel which did not hold 40 saw initially when it broke, the dibek shvar zevis, and then it broke, and you glued together its pieces with pitch. Then you can re-break it. Take it inside it. As long as you don't have mind to make a precise hole, she had a little pestle, which would be an opening for it. Can't have a masakamana because that was the case. It would be like fixing a vessel. But if it's a hole, it's complete. Also, right now, I break it. I feel being in a manner which does not make it a vessel. I feel also not allowed to make any fresh hole in it. And even if it has a fresh hole, if you want to expand that hole, also. That's in fact your intent to make it a larger hole. I call the shuttle. And you should know the Hakshena Machzekas Abraham saw. Hosi Rabbein Ramah, the Ramah adds that line. Lufisam Otmiani love. I'm very astonished at the Ramah. The game which Machai ben Kligar Kata, since he's still drawing that distinction which the Ram made between a large vessel and a small vessel. So the Kata Mutter Regal Osir, but small one is permitted and large one is Osir. Zeu med Kater should be Sivav, like we saw back in Sivav, in the name of the Ran. He came in Mel into time of the Migdal. So if that's the case, it's not comparable to the Migdal. Sakush is what saying about the Taisus. And the Taisus question of how can it be permitted it falls off. We came Lamalo Evi Das Hamatirim Hashvira Apa Chavishlema. So you should at least bring down if it's differentiates between God and Katan, so you should at least bring down the materium like the Rambam in the case of the Katan, like the Ram's distinction. Hine Shamati שיש נוגעים בשעה בראש הבקבוק שבו יין או שם משקים, לא יכולים לפתוח החויסם, לפי דעס הטובה של נורח אסר. I heard those who say that there are those who are accustomed to break the top of a bottle, which is wine and other beverages. If they can't open it, they break it according to the Shulchan Aruch to be also. I think you should not rebuke them. They should ask Rabbeim Rabbi saying because it's according to many Rabbeim, not many of our Rabbeim, it's completely mutter like I wrote. He seems to argue it's amazing that Filu B'Chavish Shleim Mutter Ishbar says even a complete vessel you have to break it. And according to this, those who do this have certainly what to rely on. 5 great giants, the Rashi, Rambam, Rav, Matir, and the Rashba too. And this is the psak, one of the great achronim, which is the Gra. So in the Bir Halacha, the Mishnah, he says that the Rashba holds that by a rickety type of barrel, even if it holds 40 saw, even if it's large, there's no prohibition of stira. Or suppose only willing to be mako though by a non-Jew, because otherwise he holds this Rabbanon because he's Mekalkel, and again, obviously going to the opinion that a large keli is a problem. Mishmur writes that the girl was matir because he agrees with those poskim who hold there's no stira by keli, and even you break a keli which is whole, unless you make it a keli by breaking it, then you're chayiv according to everyone because of makeh bepatish. Test. They wrote that if you have in mind to make a good hole, having misaki on it, that's fixing the keli. If a hole is large enough that things go in and out, have a yisodoraisa. So it'd be yisodoraisa in that case. And a small keli should still be rabbanon, as we saw previously. That which he said, that which they write afilu, they wrote even as just a hole is also to make. That's astonishing. The neked vaday also, it's not an afilu. It's certainly also make a hole. Afilu matei shviri, even those who allow breaking, a hole is more problematic because of makav patish. So I'm not going to some neked derech shviri. So I have to say something about a hole which is made in a manner of breakage. Shashimush bomat, there's not much you can get out of it. B'shvira hashimush harbei. And when you break it without not making a hole, then you can use it expansively, which is a little bit doichak. But the hole would just be, it was smaller. It's even though it's a deliberate hole, it's less usher than breakage, which makes a bigger hole, because breakage makes it more serviceable than a small hole. Lo nekev mamish bipui kavanosa. And then evidently, with that hole, not talking about a really professional hole. That would talk to be also, by that, it would not be an afilu. That's pashut. B'zesh kosu gam rachiba also that should say to expand is also problem. And kvar mamash rachiba. It doesn't mean literally to expand it. Pshito shasi yosim shvira. That's certainly more also than breaking. El kavasim shtamesh bo. But they mean that by using it, ideis rachiv ksas and mela, it will automatically become larger. Nevertheless, if you don't have mind, it's mutter law of psikresha. It's not considered to be an inevitable result. Obviously, it's coming by usage and not by direct breakage. So therefore, it's only us who have that in mind. You have in mind when you're using it that you get expanded. So if you're doing it deliberately, that's forbidden. If you had a knife, which is from Erev Shabbos, is plugged into the barrel, and if you take out the knife, there'll be a hole. You can take it in and put it back. The hole's going to get a little bit bigger. Since the knife is obviously plugged in very, very strongly, otherwise it would leak. And therefore, when you take it out and put it back in, it's going to make the hole larger. Nevertheless, there's no Torah prohibition here. When it was plugged in for Erev Shabbos. Some say you have to have taken it out, not just plugged it in, but also taken it out at least one time before Shabbos begins. Does a palm machine then the second time will become so much wider. But if you didn't take out the knife even one time from before Shabbos began, also Shabbos you can't on Shabbos take it out and put it back in. We shouldn't have a psik ratio because it's inevitable. It's definitely going to get wider. The first time, it's definitely going to get wider. Also, it's forbidden. Also, nekev upesa chavis, making a hole and opening for the barrel. Yeshish Omer, those who say the tzorach gadol, there's a great need. Yesh latir apolo tiyasakim yodiyom matir. Even if you didn't take out the knife from before Shabbos began, it's a taz and Magen Avraham. Yeshish mochas emomokam echreach. You lie this when necessary. Vayamash l'sat sif chavav. Yudalef haya b'chavis nekev v'nistam. If there is a hole which is in the barrel and it got plugged up. It's below the dregs, in other words, the stuff which has substance at the bottom of the barrel. Also, you can't open it. Since in the bottom and all the weight of the wine is on it, we definitely sealed it well, and it was a proper seal. As if there's no hole there ever. If they open it now, have it connected like a brand new hole. And even if originally there was a spigot here, and you remove the spigot and close it up, usher, because you remove the spigot and you close it up. If the hole is above the dregs, and I should call, perhaps use the more well-known term, sediment at the bottom, and then it got sealed up, allowed to open it. That is certainly not a full seal. Is not like a new hole. With the first magdech, you open it even with a drill, shakorin kreutzer, which I assume means a drill. The makam nekav yoshan no kiyafil magdech. In a place that is original hole, you can use even a drill. Kagam makam amaguvash and kishanishba, such a place of the lid where it broke, or makam acher, or some other place, where I should say lid where it was broken, or some other place. So the minute is simple that we open the closing of a bottle, such as a cork, even with a drill, i.e. a corkscrew. As long as there are no letters on the plug. It's not like opening a hole. It's on top. And it's not therefore fully considered fully closed. It's not like a new hole in the barrel. I'm not sure it's about a cork, because a cork is really separate from the glass. Perhaps he's talking about a case where there is a glass, like you find sometimes by Hanukkah candles, which you pre-buy, that the oil is in a container and pre-filled, and there's a little glass top you snap off in order to use the wick. So perhaps something like that. It says, I'm not sure you would use a drill for that. But I don't think it's about cork, because the cork is anyway separate from the bottle. Therefore, if the spigot in the barrel has become broken, and you can't remove it, you can pierce through it with a drill. And certainly you're allowed to take another spigot, and hit the spigot in until it comes out. And put in, I guess, the new spigot. As long as it's not opposite the dregs. Yud base. Those are arguing all this. That which Chazal allows you to open a old hole. That's by a jug made out of pottery. Where it's not anyway sealed properly. But in a wooden barrel, where the sealing is effective, they make it very, very tight. If they close it with the assumption that you're never going to open it, I guess there was some sort of part of the strip of wood you used went above the top of the barrel, and they smoothed it out so it was flush at the top of the barrel, which shows they want to leave it there. So it's now like making the hole of usher. If there's compelling necessity, you can rely on the first opinion that as long as there's any hole which is previously made, you can open up as long as it's not beneath the dregs. Also brings down the the Balatanya, that Mokum Tzorko Meko. The Yesh Kokim, those who are not Meko, and Zainam Sichas Bakbuk Shos Chulchis. It's not, doesn't apply to the opening of a bottle of glass bottle. Kind of feel Yesh Kokim Mutar Shri so speak the Apostle. Maybe he's talking about the cork. It's not clear to me. They're in any event, that's certainly the case, that they are opening it, and they're closing it in order to open it later on. Probably he's talking about a cork after I'm said and done so. I retract what I said before. It is talking about a cork, and a previous sif as well. So, okay, we are still not finished with this, because there's a lot more about the kalim. We'll come back to it, of course, in our next session.